With horror's direness familiar to my slaughterous thoughts, cannot one start me?
From Shakespeare to sex addiction, this guy can do it all. Welcome to Watch Mojo UK, and today we'll be counting down the top 10 Michael Fassbender performances. Before we begin, we publish new content every day, so be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. An Irish actor who was born in Germany and spent large parts of his early career in the UK, for this list we're celebrating Michael Fassbender's finest work.
I had the respect of them other boys now, and I knew that.
And while he isn't actually British himself, he has spent a lot of his life in the UK, and in between the blockbusters he is featured in some stellar British movies.
I've heard it, I've read it. It's been sung to me by Joan Baez. What you call reality distortion field, and I'm pretty sure you're the one who coined the phrase, is the reason we're here.
Number 10. David, Prometheus. The Alien franchise has a proud history of android characters, and Fassbender lived up to the lineage as David.
How far would you go to get what you came all this way for? Your answers. What would you be willing to do?
Channeling another Ridley Scott classic Blade Runner, but adding a Peter O'Toole-inspired look and a kinda creepy robotic manner, David was probably the best thing about the Prometheus prequel.
The hypersleep chambers will impress, I trust.
Fassbender revisited the role for 2017's Alien Covenant, playing David as well as Walter, and becoming a central figure in the space-based epic. But can the crew trust him?
What did he say, David?
I don't think he'd want me to tell you.
Number 9. Frank. By 2014, Fassbender's fame and talent had reached such heights that he could star in a film where his face is covered for almost the entirety.
I say tell everyone everything.
An oddball dramedy from Lenny Abrahamson, Frank sees Fassbender play an eccentric but cognitively questionable frontman for an experimental band.
Today, we begin work on the album in earnest.
The character is charming and fascinating but also unpredictable, and Fassbender flies through most of the movie without relying on actual facial expressions. Pretty impressive, eh?
Take it off! Take it off!
Number 8. Conor O'Reily, Fish Tank. This drama from acclaimed director Andrea Arnold helped to launch Fassbender into the mainstream, and it is easy to see why.
No surprise in that one.
Playing Connor, a manipulative and unnerving character who develops a disturbing relationship with his partner's young daughter, he becomes an increasingly threatening presence throughout the film.
We have to keep this between you and me.
Switching between effortless charm, selfish control, and ruthless violence, Fassbender shows how he can toy with emotions. It's a deeply unsettling but unforgettable performance.
You're gonna go for this then?
Dunno, I might.
Well, you should do, you're great.
Number 7. Lieutenant Archie Hicox, Inglorious Bastards. Fassbender takes a small role in this Tarantino World War II flick, but leaves a lasting impression in one of the movie's most memorable sequences.
We can handle it. But if trouble does happen, we need you to make damn sure no Germans, or French for that matter, escape from that basement.
As an undercover Brit working with the titular Bastards, Hicox engages in one of the most intense drinking games ever attempted, and Fassbender gets to flex the fact that he speaks fluent German.
Sie kennen jeden Deutschen in Frankreich.
Jeden, der es wert ist.
It's an unconventional way to infiltrate the enemy, as he finds himself sharing a scotch with his target. Seconds later, and all hell breaks loose.
Now, about this pickle.
Number 6. Erik Lehnsherr, Magneto, the X-Men franchise. Bringing to life an iconic comic book character, especially one previously played by Ian McKellen, might have been a daunting task.
I'll go easy on you. Might finally be a fair fight.
But Fassbender makes Magneto all his own. Delving into the character's history as a Holocaust survivor, X-Men First Class gives context to Erik's story, and Magneto's development is a primary drive for the subsequent X-Men movies, which explore his time as a revolutionary leader and his impossible attempts to live a normal life.
A new tomorrow that starts today.
Number 5. Macbeth.
Thane of Cawdor lives. Why do you dress me in borrowed robes?
Showcasing his Shakespearean talents as the duplicitous nobleman turned king, Fassbender once again toes the fine line between the sympathetic and the thoroughly unlikable as the eponymous Macbeth.
Thou marshallst me the way that I was going, and such an instrument I was to use.
In a performance supremely complimented by Marion Cotillard, and as part of an adaptation which was heaped with critical praise, the actor also manages the often difficult task of transferring the bard's text to the big screen, nailing even the longest and most complex monologues. It'll give you goosebumps, this.
You make me strange. Even to the disposition that I own.
Number 4, Bobby Sands' Hunger. Fassbender has worked under director Steve McQueen on multiple occasions, but their first film together must have been the most taxing for the actor. Playing an imprisoned IRA member who goes on hunger strike, Fassbender transformed his body with a strict diet and exercise regime to achieve the skeletal look we see. Though the film has a lower profile than his other McQueen movies, Hunger proves Fassbender's dedication to his craft, even before he achieved worldwide fame. Let no one question this guy's commitment.
I don't think I'm gonna see you again, Bobby. No need to.
Number 3, Edwin Epps' 12 Years a Slave. A role which bagged Fassbender his first Oscar nomination, here he brings out all the worst and ugliest parts of human history and character.
Which knew his Lord's will. Which knew his Lord's will.
As a slave owner with a violent attitude who takes disturbing satisfaction in his brutal behaviour, Edwin Epps is a standout villain and a stark reminder of a shameful period in American history.
I won't have my mood spoiled. I will not. Dance.
12 Years a Slave can be very difficult to watch at times, not least when Fassbender's on the screen. He simply emanates evil.
They brought this on me. I bring them God's word, and heathens they are, they brought me God's scorn.
Number 2, Steve Jobs' Steve Jobs. Playing a modern-day icon and one of the most influential tech pioneers of recent times, Fassbender faced massive pressure to get this role right.
I'm proud of you. Thank you, boss.
Working from Aaron Sorkin's screenplay and under the directorship of Danny Boyle, he delivered a stellar performance as Apple co-founder Steve Jobs.
Gonna put music in your pocket.
What?
Playing Jobs through 3 crucial stages in his career, the movie shines light on all aspects of the man's legacy, exploring both his professional pursuits and personal life. And Fassbender shoulders it all with style.
Everybody, that's it. They've got to mop the stage, reset, and open the house. I love you guys.
Number 1, Brandon Sullivan, Shame.
You want to get out of here? I could take you somewhere.
We've already seen Fassbender portray a starving protester and a slave owner for Steve McQueen. For today's top spot, he plays a sex addict.
You force me into a corner, and you trap me. I've got nowhere else to go.
In another exceptionally hard-hitting role, Fassbender delves deep into the warped psyche of his character and dares to bear all to give an authentic insight into Brandon's world. The actor pulls no punches in this performance, which includes several graphic sex scenes, and was acknowledged during awards season with well-earned BAFTA and Golden Globe nominations.
Why is that?
I don't know. It's just the way it is.
Do you agree with our picks? Check out these other great clips from Watch Mojo UK and subscribe for more great content.